the final topic we're going to talk about is our top 5 MeepleCore top 5s. I thought this was appropriate to reminisce on 2 years of podcasts. Almost every episode we've had a top 5, and there's always been some fun things, fun conversations. So it's neat to take our favorite ones and reason why it was our favorite or whatever, and just kind of talk about it rather than having a reminisce episode where we just talk about all the stuff that we've talked about already.
Right.
So
Sure.
if you haven't checked out a lot of our episodes, maybe this will prompt you. I've wrote down the episode that we actually talked about this top 5. I don't know if you guys did.
I thought about it, and I just ran out of time to do so.
Yeah.
That's fine. So, but it's easy to search on our website. So anyway, we're going to begin with Eric.
Sure.
What is your number 5 top 5 that we've done?
Number 5 for me is the top 5 disappointing board games. So we usually talk about all the games we like. This gave us a chance to talk about some of the games that disappointed us. So it was a little different. And that's why I made it number 5.
I actually saw that one because on my phone I keep my notes for every episode, right? Like when I'm at work, I kind of type out my notes for, these bullet points for this game, bullet points for this topic, whatever. And I save them all on my phone because it's, a Word document.
Yeah.
And so it doesn't take up much space. And that's what I was using to go back through them all to see all my top 5s and what I actually said and everything. And I saw that one and I was going to put it on here, but my other 5 were I like better. Yeah. That was pretty fun though.
Yeah.
Do you remember that one?
Slightly.
I only remembered a lot of it because I read the
It's been a while.
I couldn't even probably tell you most of my top 5 I had on there.
That's what I kind of wish I would have wrote down the top 5s I actually had and refreshed on what I said on them.
Oh yeah.
Just ran through real quick, but
well, you have anything else on that?
No, that's it.
My number 5 is our top 5 Final Fantasy characters.
Yeah.
This was pretty much just Matt and I. Anytime we talk about Final Fantasy, it's exciting because Final Fantasy is one of my top 3 video game series ever. And I mean, the fact that I did write down my 5. I had number 5 was Lulu. Number 4 was Zack. Number 3 was Kane. Number 2 was Oron. For some reason, I didn't have my honorable mention on there. And number 1 was Sephiroth.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mine would be off mostly like Brave Exvius.
Oh, what's your top 5, Eric? Go through it right now.
No.
Ling.
What's your number 1?
Ling. I talked about Ling so much.
Garbage.
Now she's not so good. It's probably Orlando. Ling just because.
Well,
Cloud was pretty good.
Most of my top 5s are very like reminiscent or
Sure.
whatever, or some kind of nostalgia or whatever. And that was really cool about the top 5 because we got to sit back and talk about the video game as well, not just like that character,
Right.
but what they did in that game that made it really cool. So that's why it's my top 5, or my number 5 of our top 5.
Well, my favorite top 5s, if it's a spoiler, I like doing the top 5s that's not board gaming related, just because it lets everyone, I guess, listen to a different side of us. They're usually a little bit more fun and kind of weird. So my number 5 is I had a lot of fun talking about our favorite cereals.
Oh yeah,
because we got into a little debate on which cereal was healthier, and it was kind of goofy and funny, and I don't know, it's just talking about cereal is fun. I love cereal, so.
Well, I'm just gonna put mine out there real quick. This was actually my honorable mention, so I'll say it now. But I don't think you guys said Captain Crunch.
Were you on that episode, or was it just us?
No,
It wasn't.
Captain Crunch, number 1.
Captain Crunch, number 1?
Number 1.
With berries
no,
or just by
heck
itself?
No, don't mess it up with putting berries in
no, you gotta have the berries.
or marshmallows. Hate those marshmallows.
And Captain Crunch?
I
Or
think
just
they
in
make-
anything?
Well, in anything. I actually feed them to Luna.
Oh
our
man,
dog.
I love Lucky Charms.
She loves
Is that
those.
healthy? Can you feed
Probably
marshmallow
not.
cereal to your dog?
She loves them.
That's why she's got that belly on her, dude.
All those marshmallows.
We're going to skip Eric for 1 second. I'm going to talk about my number 4, which is top 5 cereals.
Oh, okay.
All right.
I did have Captain Crunch as my number 4, Eric.
All right. Okay.
Although
well, you did good, but
what made it interesting is that a lot of mine are the what's it called? The Malto Meals brand, which are sold at like Walmart and some other places. So
do they sell it at Kroger?
no, Kroger has their own like
yeah.
Kroger brand or whatever. So the Malto Meals are sold at like Walmarts and Meijer and things like that, or in Target, I believe.
Because I remember you said something about there was one good one.
The Fruity Pebbles.
Fruity Pebbles. And I kind of looked at it. I was at Kroger. I was like, I remember he said that. So
Not the Kroger one. That was so
Okay.
bad.
Oh,
that was
okay.
so bad.
I didn't pick it up, so
That's
I
good.
got saved.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you about it.
There's not, I've tried all the Kroger variants as well, and only the Frosted Flakes one I found out of the ones I like works okay.
I grew up on the Kroger brand ones, and I didn't hardly like any of them.
Yeah. I'm not a very big fan of those, no. But the Malto Meals, like the Colossal Crunch, is the Captain Crunch variant.
Oh, really?
Or what is it, off-brand?
Yeah.
It is so good. Here's the thing.
So it holds up.
It's actually better. And I'll tell you this. I ate Captain Crunch, and I was like, man, there's something that's different. And I realized the pieces are half the size of the ones that are in the Colossal
Malto Meal?
Crunch.
Oh,
Like,
because they're
literally.
colossal.
Yeah.
It's Colossal Crunch. It's not just Captain Crunch. So, like, the little, Crunch Berries are, like, twice as big.
Oh, no. Crunch
That
berries.
sounds crazy.
That ruined it.
Man, the Crunch Berries are good, dude.
Crunch berries? No.
I can even eat
Blasphemy!
Oops Berries.
You don't like the Crunch Berries?
No.
You only like those little yellow things?
Yes, that's the best part. They hurt the roof of my
I was gonna
mouth
say
after a little while,
They
but
destroy your mouth.
Yeah, they destroy your mouth, dude. My mouth is so raw.
it's so worth it.
All right, so if you like Captain Crunch, Eric, have
Yeah.
you went to Starbucks and got the Captain Crunch Frappuccino?
No.
You are
it tastes
missing.
like it tastes like the berry one though. Like,
Whatever,
does it?
whatever.
No, if it's the berry
it
one.
tastes like with berries.
I'm
though.
out.
Okay, it tastes like Crunch Berries, but
Yeah,
whatever.
All right. They messed it up with crunch berries.
No, lies. You need to try it out, though.
Your taste buds are messed up.
Now, I've tried it. Because I was like, they ran
no.
out of Captain Crunch. I'll try it with the berries.
All right,
I'm
well,
glad you weren't on the cereal episode, Eric.
other than that, though, I had Raisin Bran was my number 5. Captain Crunch was my number 4. Colossal Crunch. Apple Jacks is my number 3, which
Apple
actually,
Jacks. That would be my number 2.
the Malto Meals version is almost comparable. I mean, they're the exact same. I don't care which one I get, other than the fact that the Malto Meal is better bang for your buck. Number 2 is Frosted Flakes. Again, both of them are great. They're both called Frosted Flakes. I guess you can't trademark that. I don't know.
Yeah.
Fruity Pebbles, though. Fruity Pebbles, after eating the Dino Bites by Malto Meals, did you try these yet?
No, but I remember it's Dino Bites.
Dude, it destroys Fruity Pebbles. Like, cause the problem with Fruity Pebbles is it's not as fruity.
Yeah.
As, it's like 15 times the flavor in Dino
really?
Bites.
Wow.
It is incredible. And on top of that, for some reason, Fruity Pebbles have like really hard pieces anymore. Like at the bottom of the box, they got like burnt pieces and stuff.
Burnt pieces, yeah.
Yeah. Disappointing.
Yeah. Not with Malto Meals.
Not with Malto Meals. We're going to get a sponsorship for Malto Meal. I'm telling you. Eric, you go ahead and do your number 4 since I skipped you.
Okay. My number 4 is what would you do with $1 million? So I also wasn't on this episode. So what I would do is probably
Eric's top 5 is
The top fives I missed out on and I want to talk about now.
so I would have to do stuff off my bucket list, or actually Melissa's bucket list. I don't really have that much. I'm pretty simple. I don't need a lot of stuff or do a lot of things. So
I actually think Steve Avery was on this episode.
He was.
Yes.
I remember that.
Yeah, he was.
That was so funny.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't look, if you're listening and you've never spoke to Steve Avery, he is hilarious. I think he was on episode like 4 or 5, and then like 17 or 18 or something like that. He was on twice. We
gotta get him back.
He is hilarious to the point where it's like, I don't know if I should mute things at certain points. You definitely got to post edit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He
No,
scares you at times.
He scares me. He never actually crosses it.
Yeah.
But it's
He
funny.
gets pretty close.
Yeah. It is. It's a trip. But yeah, I think he was on the one where we talked about what would we do with $1 million. I think he would hire a page to follow him around
It was something like
That
and
would
that.
be awesome.
announce everything he was doing
Yes.
with the horn.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. It was something dumb like that.
Oh, anyway, continue, Eric.
No, I mean that's pretty much it. Probably go travel, those kinds of things.
Yeah.
I remember this one because I think both of us talked about maybe doing like a MeepleCore like TV show or something, or like a I don't even remember, design studio.
I think I talked about going on tour or buying a
tour?
record
Oh.
label.
I'm pretty sure we both had that.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's good stuff. Matt, what's
Cool.
your number 4?
My number 4, I had a lot of fun finding out what our fears were.
Oh yeah.
And so
that missed my top 5.
that
but-
missed your top 5?
Yeah. But it was close.
Yeah, so I mean, it was just fun. It was completely different. just talking about what scared us. And
Men don't really talk about that often.
that's but they do if you're real men.
Yeah.
You're okay talking about it if you're real men.
Yeah, I guess so.
Eric, would you be? Can you tell us what some of your top fears
Top
are?
fears? I'm not very afraid of anything. Resident Evil VR. Yeah. In the dark by myself.
Yeah, that was a pretty crazy episode because like some of it got not really emotional, but it got deep.
Yeah, because I remember talking about the plane. Yeah, and sinking.
Sinking, drowning.
That's bad.
Burning alive, being electrocuted.
Yeah.
Losing your eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would suck. I'd rather lose my legs.
Yeah. Same.
All right, Eric, what's your number 3?
Oh, I'm going number 3.
Is that what we're on?
Yes.
Yes.
Top 5 road trip snacks. You guys, flaming hot Cheetos. You gotta have
any
some...
of these where you were on the?
Probably not. I missed out on all the good ones.
I told you, dude. He's catching up right now. This is.
That's fine. That's fine.
You got the flaming hot munchies and Cheetos. Grippos.
He's making up with lost time.
Grippos.
Right? Grippos.
I only get Grippos when I'm on a trip.
The barbecue ones?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, those are pretty good. I like those.
I never buy Grippos. But
Those were a staple at my high school.
Do you all
Really?
like kettle chips?
I do.
I'm not that big on them.
I
I mean, they're okay,
What?
but
The only
They're
ones
like-
I found some jalapeno ones that are at I think Fire Fresh Subs that are pretty good. I don't remember what brand it is. Those are good, but otherwise, yeah, I'm not a big fan of kettle chips.
Oh, guys. you got the wrong brand or something. These kettle chips are awesome.
Fair enough.
But that's mine.
All right. My number 3 is our top 5 favorite shows and concerts that we went to. There was a lot of history behind these, and it was just really fun to sit there. This is one of those top 5s where I actually sat down and thought about it. I mean, that sounds bad. I don't do any research on my top 5. No, it's like you sit down and think because you got to dig deep, man, because our top, our shows, some of them are like really old.
right.
Yeah.
20, 30 years ago. Well, not 30, but like 20 years ago.
I went there when I was 8.
I was 6. I mean, maybe. But I even have mine here. I had the Metro Shifter Curfew show in Louisville. The Metro Shifter is a local band. They were pretty big. This Dillinger Escape Plan show, if you're not familiar with them, they're straight crazy. They are the craziest band you will see live in person. I mean, they're nuts. Like crazy. They played at this Keswick Democratic Club, and they totally just started tearing down the ceiling and stuff. Yeah, I mean, they're like slightly destructive, but I mean, they're nuts.
Yeah, you don't want them for house parties.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. And then our CD release show was really awesome. That was a super good memory. The Escape the Fate show that we played
Right.
with Escape the Fate. I mean, first off, playing this show with your favorite band at the time,
Right. Ooh.
mind blown. Yeah. And then the Bury the Hatchet tour, which was a show I went to see Escape the Fate and Falling in Reverse play on the same bill. And the honorable mention I actually put was our Attila show because it was the same day that Theron was born because YOLO. However many, raise your hand if you got to play a show on the day your son was born. That sounds irresponsible of me, but I'm telling you, I was fully supported, and I was gonna like step back more so than what Rachel was.
Hey, when my son was born, I was actually at a wedding in the same city. Yeah. So I took both our girls, and they were actually in the wedding. So Melissa was at the hospital by herself, but he came early, so we couldn't work around it.
Yeah, that's fair. Theron came too. What was it like? Out of all these days, you can't come on this one day.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the
Bam.
day. Right.
That's the day he came.
Same.
He's like, I'm going to Daddy's show.
Yeah.
Then he was mad that he couldn't come. Anyway, so Matt, what's your number 3?
My number 3 is I always like a chance to talk about some good horror movies. So it was just talking about horror movies, finding out Tim's horror movies, my horror movies.
I kind of remember that. I put Descent on there. Did you ever see that?
No, I've told you I've seen some of it. I just
Descent
haven't
the-
sat down and watched
Descent
the whole movie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like a bunch of girls spelunkers go into a cave.
Oh, I see why you like it.
Well, actually, it's not. It's not the typical horror movie where there's a bunch of that stuff going on.
Okay.
They just go into this cave, and it's like, first off, I'm not claustrophobic, but I really find it fascinating to see a movie that takes place 100% in the cave.
Yeah, I'm not claustrophobic either, as long as
I can get out.
You can get out. Yeah.
I'm only claustrophobic if I can't move at all. But if I'm in a small area, that's fine. But
Yeah.
if I can't actually move at all, then
Man, have you heard about those people
sucks.
like spelunkers like getting stuck like upside down and stuff like that because they try to crawl through an area and they're like, I'm stuck. And they have to like pull a crane in there, like
oh wow.
just pull like 200 feet of slack line and attach it to him and just drag him out and stuff.
Hopefully
That
he
sounds
doesn't-
great.
Yeah.
Top 5 fears right there.
All right. Doing number 2 for me is top 5 guilty pleasures.
Yeah.
Goodwill. Well, my family will tell you they don't like to go, but Daddy likes to go.
You drag it with you everywhere, don't you?
Yeah.
Daddy, not again.
No. Yeah.
We've been to
We're
3
gonna
today.
go. Right.
How many have you been in one day?
Oh, in one day.
Not just Goodwills, but thrift stores. In one solid
in one day. You know, we sometimes we hit 4 of them or 5 of them. I don't know. I drive around the city anyway, so when I pass one up, you know, I'll run in real quick, see what there is, find some of those treasures.
How much do you have to spend on Benny and stuff when you're?
So, yeah. Well, you know, sometimes you know I have to give him that toy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, he's gonna make it worth his while.
Right. Yeah. He's like, I want this.
He doesn't
I
even
this.
want it. He just want to make sure you buy him something.
Yeah. So
I'm a sucker, man. If we walk into a Goodwill and I have Theron with me, he's like, "Oh," and he grabs it. I'm like, "I guess I'm buying that."
yeah.
It's probably not good. I'm gonna spoil the crap out of him.
It's gonna be bad when you say no.
Yeah. Well, yeah. It already kind of is bad. It's my fault. It's my fault. I understand. If you're listening, Rachel, I'm sorry.
He'll get over it eventually.
Yeah. What was that? Your number 2?
Yeah.
All right, my number 2 is our top 5 childhood presents. And that's because it was definitely a reminiscent thing. I got to think a lot. Some of these actually had, you know, my brother involved who, you know, was killed in that motorcycle thing. And it was just really cool to think about those, you know. I just read the ones I put on here. I put a Sanyo TV 28-inch. Boom! I'm rolling in this, man.
Yeah.
Balling.
I'm balling. This is like mid-90s, too. It was pretty big for its size, and man, I kept that all the way up until I got my PS3. That was a pretty, and I didn't get a release PS3. I got a PS3 Slim, so that tells you how long I had that TV.
Yeah.
It was a pretty long time. Fireball Island that I ended up destroying and losing all the pieces to. That was great. The original Game Boy, that was a fantastic present. The Super Nintendo with Final Fantasy VI.
Yo.
Boom. Well, Final Fantasy 3 as far as our release was concerned.
Mm-hmm.
And I put the remember this, Matt? The X-Men hockey set.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
That thing was so big.
Didn't you get 2 of those?
We got 2 of them because we destroyed one. So like the next, I think not the next year, but the year after or something, we got another one.
Yeah.
And I think we destroyed that one too. So way to go. We're kids.
Yeah. Well, if you ain't breaking it, you ain't playing with it.
That's right. Right.
So my number 2, did you say guilty pleasures for your
Yeah.
number 2?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, that was mine too.
All right.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So guilty pleasures. I mean, it was just funny talking about. I remember the only one I remember is Taylor Swift. I think was my first one. So
You put Minecraft on there.
Minecraft. Yeah,
Yeah.
I haven't played it in a while, but man, yeah, that was a big guilty pleasure.
Man, you know what? I told you I wrote down these episodes, but I didn't even actually put the. I haven't been saying them. Like for instance, our Final Fantasy was episode 20.
Oh.
Top 5 cereals was episode 17.
Gotcha.
Favorite shows, concerts was 23. Childhood presents 42. That was actually pretty recent.
Yeah.
And I think that our guilty pleasures was like episode 3.
It was pretty early.
Yeah, I think it was early.
It's episode 4.
Episode 4.
Episode 4. That was a really good one.
Yeah. So I had a lot of fun with that one.
Are we on-
you
Honorable
guys gonna
mentions.
do your honorable mentions? Mine already happened.
Was the cereal?
Cereal.
My honorable mention was episode 27. I remembered it now, like when we're already done with the whole list. Top 5 Easter eggs in video games.
Yeah.
I'll tell you why it was an honorable mention, because this is probably the one top 5 that I put the most time into.
Oh yeah.
Oh, dude, I have them all here. I'm not going through them. There is so much stuff.
Yeah.
It was crazy. Let's see. Number 5 was Final Fantasy 1 for that sliding puzzle.
Right.
Number 4 was NBA Jam Tournament Edition Arcade.
Oh yeah, I remember.
Number 3 was the
Playing some
Diablo 2
Jam.
Cal level.
Yep.
Number 2 was Summoner for PS2. The little scene or whatever.
Yeah. This. Yeah.
Little like don't shoot or shoot the darkness or whatever.
Yeah. Shoot the darkness. Yeah.
Number 1 was games that have hidden 8-bit games. Just a bunch of games that had smaller games. Like Mortal Kombat 2 had Pong in it. Mortal Kombat 3 had Galaga. So, yeah, pretty cool stuff. Matt, what about your honorable mention?
I don't know. My honorable mention was just I had fun talking about villains because I don't think people talk about the bad guys enough. So
that's true.
I had a good time talking about villains.
You were pretty excited about doing that one. I think it was on our list for like months.
Yeah.
And then we finally brought it.
Well, I think it might have been on there, but then Dice Tower did it, so I think we had to wait to make it not look like we were doing it.
We just did it because they did it.
Yeah,
that's true. Yeah.
So I think I tried to stall it out a little bit.
It'd be interesting to see how many people that listen to our podcast also listen to the Dice Tower. Because, I mean, we do talk about a lot of stuff that's not board games as well, so I don't know if we're gathering traffic from non-board game stuff. I'm assuming all of it's board game traffic or whatever, but it'd be interesting to know. I don't know how to do those analytics, though.
Yeah. One day.
Yeah, one day.
Number 1 for me. Top 1. Top 5 funniest ways a board game can determine first player. And I didn't do any research to find out some top 5s, or at least a top 1, but they were pretty funny. I was not.
You weren't on any of these, were you?
Yeah, it was about board games, and we don't get to do a lot of board game related top 5s. We try to kind of branch out and not do it all about board games and have people, get to know us a little bit more by doing these top 5s. But
my cat's excited about this one, Eric.
Yep.
He's meowing in the background.
He knows what's up. But they were quite funny, and there were some pretty good ones on there.
Yeah, usually anytime there is something different than age or rolling or something, it's usually pretty funny. So.
Oh, yeah. Like, I just did the review for Thief's Market, and it's like, whoever stole something last.
Right.
That's me.
I'm like, whoa, stole something.
Who's going to admit that?
I guess if you stole something in another game that you were playing, that might work. But
maybe.
Yeah, I kind of remember that one.
I stole the gem in this game yesterday.
Yeah, or what was the other one we were looking at? Whoever looks the most regal.
Right.
We picked Eric because he had the salt and pepper beard going on, like Noctis in the post world.
Right.
You get that handlebar mustache going on.
My number 1 is Guilty Pleasures.
Guilty Pleasures?
Man, that was a phenomenal episode. Or at least that portion of it was awesome. I guess I didn't complete. I must have copied my list and put it on my computer before I finished it because I only had 4 things on here instead of 5 in the honorable mention. I got Gilmore Girls, Ariana Grande, the movie Bring It On, and Dance Dance Revolution.
Bring It On.
Yeah, dude, that was a fun movie.
That's a good movie.
All right,
That's good, yeah. Not the second.
Not the second.
I think that was like, direct-to-TV style.
Yeah.
But, yeah, that was a fun movie. I told Matt, when I got this laptop, actually, it was the only movie I had, and I probably watched it like 4 or 5 times because, like, I was out somewhere and I only had the laptop, and it was, like, the only movie I had, and, like, this is, like, right before smartphones kind of deal.
Mm-hmm.
My cat is going nuts. Matt, what's your number 1?
My number 1, I had a lot of fun talking about this, and I think it was just funny just doing it because it was silly, but the top 5 bromances.
Oh, yeah.
But, yeah.
You don't usually talk about some guys.
Which one was that in it?
You don't remember us doing the top 5 bromances?
I remember this, but I don't remember which one it was.
Well, I know my number 1, I'm pretty sure, was Ryan Reynolds.
Oh, yeah.
And I had, like, Steve Amell was one of them. And then I had, I combined, like, Usher and...
Man, what
some guy that dances a dubstep. I can't even remember his name.
Like the Techno Viking?
No, yeah, kind of like the Techno Viking. What's his name? I know it's got Nonstop in it, but I can't remember the rest of it.
Man, I'm trying to find it. I'm on MeepleCore.com. I'm trying to find our bromances here, but I think that
Control F.
Here it is, episode 12.
Episode 12.
I'm gonna look at my phone real quick. I'm gonna see who I wrote because that's been quite a bit of time ago.
I would imagine Ronnie Radke's on there.
Well, maybe.
Maybe.
I don't have the show notes for that one. I have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10, 13,
Oh no, lost to time.
14, 16. Oh, well, yeah, I don't remember. But yeah, Ronnie Radke's probably number 1.
He was ashamed. He didn't want to document it.
Yeah. Erase this from my phone.
Yeah, it's probably on that computer over there because at that time we were using that one.
Yeah.
So, well, anyway, I guess we're done with this since my cat's freaking out in the background. So, Tig, stop it. We're gonna leave that in because it's funny. Anyway, thanks for sticking around for us for 2 years of the MeepleCore podcast. If you haven't been around that long, we thank you. Hopefully, you're going to be with us, third, fourth, fifth year. We're going to keep doing this because we have fun doing it, and it's an excellent time for us to talk. We talk about this stuff all the time, so we just decided to throw mics in front of our face, and that's pretty much how the podcast became to be. We're not trying to compete with massive ones or whatever. This is just our opinion and our fun topics to talk about. So
No, we're pretty sure our opinions are more elite and better than everyone else.
Oh, yeah.
elitist. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna go back on YouTube and respond to that dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, give me your top 10 list. I'll destroy it.
Right.
No.